Welcome to session number 4 on our book study, So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijeoma Oluo. Today we're going to be talking about chapter 6 and chapter 7. Chapter 6 is entitled, Is Police Brutality Really About Race? And she tells her own experience about being pulled over. She was driving with her 2 brothers, and a motorcycle cop crossed 3 lanes of traffic to pull them over and gave her a ticket eventually for being 1 mile an hour over the speed limit. The police officer was very polite and brusque, but when he asked for the registration, her brother asked him if he could open the glove compartment, and he reached very slowly into the glove compartment to get the registration to show that he wasn't going to get a gun. And so she said, those are not things that white people have to worry about. But people of color, whenever they are pulled over by the police, are very worried. She sent out a tweet to her friends and family telling them that she was being pulled over so that they would know if anything happened. It says it's 23% more likely for a person of color to be pulled over by the police, and much more likely to be arrested or ticketed or even killed by the police, and along the way to be abused and humiliated. She says that white people don't understand this because we've never experienced it, and that police forces were created to serve and protect white people, but to control people of color. She says that sometimes people say, well, it's just a few bad apples in the police force, but it's more than that, she says. It's a system, and the system is not designed right. There is implicit bias among officers. There's not enough accountability. There's insufficient training, and there's cultural insensitivity. So there's some real problems in the whole system of policing that need to be changed. She says that people of color want a good police force too, but they want it to be fair. And I think she makes some good arguments about how the system of policing needs to be changed. Chapter 7 is called, How Can I Talk About Affirmative Action? Affirmative action is controversial in recent years. She said it was created originally to combat bias against minority people, and it was meant to mandate a certain number of hires and admissions by federal employers and by colleges. And they did that by increased recruitment, extra consideration, increased financial aid, and academic support. And there were no quotas, but it was a way to make federal employers and colleges get more creative about getting a more diverse group of people. And she says it has worked. Statistics show that it has made people of color enter the workforce and given us a more diverse workforce. She answers a number of objections and arguments against affirmative action, and I think she makes a pretty good case that it's an important program that needs to be continued. So that's the end of our book study for today. I hope you'll join me next time on my next session of So You Want to Talk About Race. Thanks.